There's a lot of talk these days about artificial intelligence, how it's working its way into the many facets of our lives, how it's taking us to new levels of technological advancement, how it might eventually get out of control and do us all in. I've helped dreamers around the world make sense of their dreams for a couple of decades, and today I'm going to discuss what I'm calling the abominable AI. Now, I use ChatGPT routinely because, unlike the results you get with a search engine, a listing of separate articles or videos to choose from, this is like a brain chock full of every bit of information posted on the internet. And it's been trained to access it all to generally provide pretty accurate summaries. But it's my opinion that the recent developers of AI weren't the first ones onto artificial intelligence. I contend that another mastermind originated the innovation millenniums ago. And I'm calling it abominable AI because that term, abominable, describes something vile and wicked. The Old Testament links the word abomination to things God particularly detests, to idolatry, immorality, and impurity, things that God considers despicable and which are a stench to him. Satan, of course, developed this AI system for his army of demons. Abominable AI, AAI for short, is a communication system that gathers information, stores it, and dispenses it. And it works like this. First of all, our spiritual status is involved. So let's start there. As we make spiritual progress in our lives, we become an increasing threat to the forces of darkness. When we make headway in spiritual maturity or ministry that deepens and widens the kingdom of light, the kingdom of darkness cringes. And when we're nearing breakthroughs, our spiritual enemies are not found unaware because those dark forces have been watching us. Now, if we're in either of those categories posing a threat to the devil, in this metaphor, abominable AI operates in these 6 ways, and I think you'll find these helpful even though I'll be brief. I'll refer to Satan and his horde of demons, by the way, simply as hell. So here are the 6. Number 1, hell predicts the future. Demons know full well how God will likely respond to our faith, callings, plans, and persistence. Satan and his armies have a pretty good idea of what's coming in our lives. Not because they can mind read or prophesy the future, but because they know how God works. They've seen it all before, countless times throughout the ages. James 2:19 suggests their level of knowledge about God. Quote, "You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble." Demonic skill in predicting the future derives from knowledge. Knowledge of God and knowledge through their AI system of us. Number 2, hell persists. I once asked a wise friend if she thought I should continue a significant legal battle, and her answer stuck with me. She said that evil has no incentive to stop fighting, that time is not an issue for demons. They don't get weary. They don't grow old. Evil is just what they do. They enjoy it. They're equipped to do evil, and they have an infinity to do it, at least until they're thrown into the lake of fire. 2 Corinthians 11:14 and 1 Peter 5:8 highlight this. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Number 3, hell is experienced. The demonic realm is practiced up to do whatever is most likely to be effective in creating havoc or stopping us entirely. Each demon has been honing their craft since they were thrown out of heaven. Now, that's a long time to develop a skill and become really good at it. We work at something 5 years and think we're experts. In fact, younger generations today think they're experts after one Google search. Just saying. Imagine having millenniums to cultivate a skill. John 8:44 and 1 John 3:8 make the point. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. The devil has been sinning from the beginning. Now, the fourth way Abominable AI works is this. Hell has done its homework. Don't take this the wrong way, but if you think you or your pastor study the Bible a lot and know church history and the testimonies of the saints throughout the centuries well, you might want to take into account that your spiritual enemies actually run the tables. And I'll expand on that in the next point. Arguably, our knowledge is extremely and entirely outclassed by the dark side. Remember, demons have been operating perpetually for millenniums. In sports talk, that's a lot of reps. Think about that. You know Ephesians 6:11-12, where we are advised on how to defeat the devil. It takes preparation and effort. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Now to number 5. Hell surveils. So the main point that I'm trying to get to here is that like artificial intelligence consumes the entire content of the internet, demonic forces consume the entire content of our lives if we're of interest to them. They're constantly surveilling us, seeing what we're up to and what words are coming out of our mouths. Like the brain of artificial intelligence, these malicious forces constantly gather intelligence on us. And they have all the personnel needed to do the job thoroughly and completely. Genesis 3:1 and 1 John 5:19 speak to the devil's craftiness and authority. We know that we are children of God and that the whole world is under the control of the evil one. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord had made. And as far as Satan's ability to surveil, you may remember that in Ephesians 2:2, Satan is called the prince of the power of the air. Notice the specific terminology. Prince, a high-level ruler, only trumped by a king, as in King Jesus. Power, something holds great power. And what is it that holds so much power? the air, as in airwaves, sound waves, what can be heard. This verse right here attests to the power of our words. And Satan and his army use their own artificial intelligence systems to hear us. He's the prince of the air, a ruler of it. He listens and he talks. And for more on that talking point, watch my video, The Intermittent Whisperer. Now, to the last abominable AI operation, number 6. Hell may focus on bloodlines. Have you ever considered that demons may have zeroed in on our ancestors? If so, they know the tactics that have already worked to kill, steal, and destroy within our families and family lines. Given that demons have been around for so long, they certainly have the capacity to employ that tactic, to latch on to a bloodline. Some call these generational or familiar spirits. And we know from Scripture that there is such a thing as generational curses. Demons, then, in addition to suspecting what tactic may work on us individually, would know what's worked before on our ancestors. They know our Achilles heels or weaknesses maybe better than we do. And as I just said, they know very well what to expect from the one who heavenly fathers us. Put those 3 things together: intelligence on our ancestors, intelligence on us, and intelligence on God. And you may have a Molotov cocktail. And interestingly, those bombs consist of 3 parts. Believe me, attacks from the enemy go off like bombs in our lives. While I'm making the comparison, I won't fail to mention that although Abominable AI provides the Prince of the Air a lot of power, it's still flawed. I use ChatGPT enough to regularly see some deficiencies in its thinking. It can't always link things together properly or logic things out like we can. I've seen demons do some exceedingly brilliant things, strategies that worked, clever ones. But I've also seen demons do some incredibly dumb things when desperate. The bottom line? Now, I'm not saying we are no match for hellish forces, because we have access to powerful spiritual weapons if we're aware of them and employ them. Greater is he that is within you than he who is in the world. 1 John 4:4. But when we face demonic opposition, we really have to be on our toes, because we can be flanked in our blind spots. Hell is certainly a formidable enemy. Another reason why insight from prophetic dreams during spiritual warfare is so vital. What I've shared today comes from a boatload of experience. And I hope my comparison between the AI getting so much attention today and the satanic, abominable AI proves helpful to you. Beware of it. Again, we don't battle human flesh. We battle a monstrous enemy. But we possess an arsenal of spiritual weapons. So, know who you're up against and use spiritual weapons, sometimes delivered in prophetic dreams. Next time, a few ideas on things you might find in your dreams when you've been targeted and are being surveilled by abominable AI. Till then, be blessed and live beyond your wildest dreams.